So I just found out like 2 seconds ago that I'm introducing myself. So ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage. A young cat out of Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised. He's the baby of 5 brothers. They all play left-handed upside down and backwards, so I'm fucked up in the head, but it works for me. Welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Gale. So is somebody gonna stop the music from playing? All right. I kind of got OCD, so I can't focus on that and what I do and dyslexia and all that sort of shit. Man, this weather is awesome, man. This is fun. How many people was here last night? Woo! Yeah? Did y'all enjoy yourself? You had a good time?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't think you had as much fun as we did, though.
Damn.
So awesome, man. Getting together with friends and colleagues and especially Snarky, man. All the cats, all of the 70 members of Snarky. This is a very impromptu. I guess the title of this masterclass is 6 Strings and the Truth. I was thinking whether I wanted to turn it into 4 Strings and a Lie. But you have to think about that one for a minute. No, we'll keep it at 6 Strings and the Truth. Yeah, man. October, I turned 50 years old, and I never would have thought that I would have saw that age. And got a lot of things that I've been through, and I don't look like what I've been through. I stand here before you, an individual that has, saw death in my face. Very, very close to it, about 5 or 6 different times. I almost died about 5 or 6 different times by my own hand. Things that I carried myself through in life. I'm not necessarily going to focus on that too tough, but this is about the truth, and I'm an open book. For about, I would say, 30 plus years of my life, it was riddled with nothing but dope, jail, and all the wrong shit. And after a while, I just got tired, man. I got tired. I'm not turning this into an anonymous meeting. That's not what I'm doing, but I'm giving you my truth. And basically, to sum it up, I met a young lady that helped convince me to not be afraid to look in that mirror that I took down all around my home because I didn't want to look at me. I took all the mirrors away. This young lady said, man, there's a life out there and you're not living it. And I'm not talking about the music. She said, I believe in you. And there was a while that I couldn't remember somebody telling me they believed in me. It's very emotional to sit here and display my life story in front of a bunch of people that I don't know. But you never know. Somebody out here just may benefit from my story. And just for the record, if somebody is at a crossroads or particularly maybe going through something, man, now ain't the time to give up. You have to play the tape through to see what the end's gonna be. Yeah. So I was circling the drain for quite some time, and there's a young lady that sits right back there. That's my wife, and we almost 13 years into marriage now. And that's the lady that said, man, you know what, man, a lot of people in this world may really gravitate to you because of what you can do on the guitar, but I gravitate to you for the human being that you are. And that kind of fucking folded me up right there, man, because that ain't what I've normally been used to hearing. I've always had people come around me because of this thing right here. That's why I'm sitting here in front of you without that first. Because I want you to know who Eric Gale, the human being, is. Because if I'm not a human being, ain't no way I can be that. I don't think so. So this young lady came into my life, man, and man, ever since, man, my shit turned around, and I got my fucking credit back good. I got an in the plus bank account. Bills paid. I pay my taxes. Damn, I didn't know what the fuck that shit was about. all that ties into me playing because it helped me fucking get rid of the shit that been bothering me in this fucking cloud that was over my head. So now there's a raw synergy and a strong energy that I tap into every single time that I pick up this guitar, and it's one of the most incredible feelings that I have ever felt in my entire life. I thought that I was hitting some strong and high notes when the dope was involved and all of this sort of stuff, but man, the moment that got taken away, there's a connection that I've never felt in my life. And it literally, every time that I pick up a guitar, it could be a happy song, it could be a fast song, but somewhere in the song, because of the connection and everything that's coming out of me, and me thinking about all the people that I'm thinking about that's passed away in my life, the tears just roll down my face. It just rolled down my face. And it's not something that I'm embarrassed about. It's, you know, us as artists, and essentially we give to the audience, we give to the people that's out there. And let's just keep it a buck. Y'all don't give a damn what it is that we may be going through. You just know you paid your money for a show, and that's what you need to see. So that's hard sometimes for us to go beyond that. When my mom just passed away, or I got a very close pet that need to be put down, or I'm missing my daughter's graduation. So I'm saying that to say that we pour so much into y'all, but who the fuck's there to pour back into us? So we have to get it from somewhere, and the music does that, which generates me thinking about my mom and my dad and my two brothers and all other people that has been very, very close to me. And I think that if it weren't for those things that I'm thinking about, I don't think that the connection and the power would resonate as it does when I do play. So I wouldn't change a thing about the sincere, heavily involved pain that I have to endure. There's an insurmountable amount of pain that I have to go through every single time that I perform. But if it's for the purpose of that one person that's sitting in the audience that's connecting to the pain that I'm displaying, but it's causing a smile or a happiness for them to leave out of that venue different than the way that they came in, then I'm gonna play from a point of pain every single night. So the things that I'm talking about, none of this is scripted. I'm not reading from a teleprompter. I'm just coming from the bottom of my heart. Right here during this time of 2:05, having this moment in time, I wouldn't wish to be nowhere else than where I am sitting right here with you guys and just having a random conversation about six strings and the truth. And this is pretty cool. I'm really happy, really happy that Michael Lee hit me, man, and say, yo, man, you know, hey, we got this thing going on, man. It's called, you know, family dinner, and okay. At first, I'm like, okay, some food's involved. And, you know, it's gonna be done from the ground up. You know what I mean? I'm like, and they're gonna pay me. I'm like, yo, I'm in. I'm there, man. And yo, man, I mean, all he had to do is just say, you know, hey, you want to come, and the answer would have been yes, regardless, period. Doesn't matter. That's just how much I think about them guys and all of them, and that is truly inspirational just to even be in a room with them. And I tell them, and I said this last night, man, I literally start shaking in my boots and my hands are all, look at that. I'm doing it on purpose, but anyway. Just when I think about being around Mark Lettieri and all them cats, man, them guys got brains that I think they need to be put on display after they pass away in the Smithsonian. Because of the geniusness that they encompass in all of them, man. They are just amazing. So for them to consider me somebody that's worthy enough to be up there with them, wow. 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 So when I do pick up this guitar, I have no idea what it is that I'm going to play. I have no idea what's going to come out, but therein lies the gold in it. Therein lies the platinum in it, because it's the unknown of it. It makes it the most fresh for me. And during the time that I play, I don't want you to think that I'm sitting up here. Well, I am kind of crazy. There's almost been like Manila folder documented, but you will see signs of me somewhat talking to myself or yelling out certain things in a Tourette format, if you will. But no, that's not what's happening. It's me reacting to my own self of stuff that's happening that I had no idea was about to happen. And I wanted to make that clear because I don't want nobody to think that I'm sitting here being overwhelmingly bragging about myself, because that's not who I am and that's not what I'm doing. I just can't help it because of what it is that the big man or big woman upstairs that's allowing to happen through me never ceases to amaze me what comes out. And it's happening in real time, so I'm sitting in an out-of-body experience every single time that I play an instrument. And I can't help but say, wow, and fuck, did you guys just see what the fuck just happened? So, I am kind of drawing pretty near to my godfather. Y'all might not know this, but Carlos Santana is my godfather, by the way. And he's been my godfather since 17 years old. I'm 50. We met when I was like 16, 17. I played through San Francisco. And after the show, my tour manager at the time come and said, man, there's this guy in the dressing room named Carlos Santana, and he wants to meet you. And I was like, nah, quit bullshitting. You gotta be kidding. And I go in the dressing room, and he started doing that. The moment that he came in, and he was like, he said, I have never seen nothing like what I just saw. And man, I haven't felt like this since Hendrix and such a woo, this and that. And long story short, it got to, he said, man, do you mind if I be your godfather? I was like, fuck yeah. So then not long after that, he called me to play Woodstock 94 with him, and I never will forget that. There was 1 million plus people out there. It was so many people that he had to get helicoptered into the stage. And he invited me to that, and it's all on, you can go to YouTube, you'll see it. I was 17, 18 at the time. And man, it was so crazy. It was amazing, man. They had the fighter jets flying with purple smoke because they were doing an homage to Hendrix while we were playing at the same time. And it was just amazing, man. 1 million people out there, 1 million people. So this was the one that it was a great time, not the 2000 one where they burned all the shit down, and not that one. But we had a wonderful time, man, and it just blew my mind. So I'm speaking about Carlos Santana, and Europa is coming to my mind, so I would like to play that for y'all. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, old Carlos Santana better than new Carlos Santana.
There's a little pressure, man, because John Schofield is sitting on the back over there observing, and I hope I don't fucking screw up here, because I don't want to do nothing wrong or nothing like that, but once again, y'all give it up for John Schofield, man. Seriously bad cat over there, man. That's a bad man. Bad man. Okay, everybody can hear that? That's all right? Yeah, man. It's I just play from my heart and soul. Just yeah. It's I don't. It just doesn't for me get any rawer than just randomly. Well, she's walking through a crowd with a circle smile that's running wild. Butterflies and zebras and movies and fairy tales. That's all she ever thinks about. Riding with me. When I'm sad, she gives to me 1,000 smiles. She gives to me free. Well, it's alright, she said. You can take anything you want from me. Anything. You can take anything. Whoa, when I'm sad, she gives to me 1,000 smiles. She gives me free. That's for you, John Schofield. Well, it's alright, she said. You can take anything you want from me. Anything you want, you can have. Wow. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate y'all, man. So, I'm not sure if there is, I didn't get much of a briefing on, questions or, or statements, comments, concerns, anything like that. But at this portion, if anybody has a question or something like that, I'm open. Yes, sir. On the guitar? That's a good question. I guess the best way for me to answer that question is, so I started playing at 4 years old. So at 4 years old, I was being exposed to everything. I'm the youngest of five, and like music is like in my entire family. Uncles, aunts, my grandfather, a little hidden gem. Way before I was even thought about, my grandfather, he's a devoted evangelist preacher, and back then the preachers didn't believe in mixing the two. Either you was gonna play for God or you was gonna play for the world. So, but behind closed doors, my grandfather used to go and hang out with Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, and they would play. True story. Behind the, nothing on record or nothing like that, but the music was what drawn them together. I mean, old traditional blues and old traditional gospel, music-wise, is the exact same thing. The only difference is one has Christian words and the other has worldly words, if you want to call it that. So, that was a way early seed that was planted back. So with that being said, that was already embedded in the family. So when I got, come out, I was a oops baby, by the way. So my next brother to me is 10 years old, and my oldest brother is 17 years older than me. And so I was being turned on to Robin Trower and Frank Marino and Shuggy Otis and Albert King and Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and Wes Montgomery and Chet Atkins and Roy Clark and Jerry Reed. So when people ask me who are your influences, it may be better for me to name who ain't my influence than, which is hardly nobody that ain't my influence, because I learned from everybody. If nothing else, I might learn what not to do in some instances, but I find that very rare. So it's a lot of people that I'm drawn to. So along with that, I was also being bombarded with the stuff from my era and my generation, along with the stuff 17 years prior to me. So when I would pick up, one of the hugest ones of them was Eric Johnson and Stevie Ray. They're huge, like they're very, very huge ingredients into who I am as a player. And I never will forget meeting Stevie Ray, man, when I was like maybe 14 years old. I'll tell that story at a later point. But I would be so fascinated by learning the stuff that they did, so much so that if they broke a string, I tried to emulate breaking the string just like them. It was that type of drive and that sort of inspiration that kept me up for 4 or 5 days straight. I would be afraid to go to sleep because I didn't want to forget what I had been learning all the time. So, I didn't want to hang out with my girl. I didn't want to go number 2. I didn't want to go use the phone. I didn't want to do none of that because that's the type of drive that I had. So that was the kind of woodshedding schedule that I had going on for many, many years. Till after a while, I just pushed it to the side. And you find the kind that before the gig, they somewhere, I want to be as far away from a guitar as possible until showtime. The farther I am away from me, it's the most freshest when I go to the stage. And that might sound a little backwards, but that's what works for me. So the question about when do I think, and what was it that I done, a lot of it was me staying away from the guitar. Believe it or not, staying completely away from it. I love hip hop, I love rap, I love R&B, I love everything. At home in my Porsche, I'm locked on the Shade Room, I'm locked on the hip hop station, I'm locked on the R&B, I'm locked on the gospel station. Like I'm hardly ever listening to stuff that I normally do, that way, but some kind of way it's an inspiration for me for the stuff that I am doing. Because with my band, they can be able to tell what I've been listening to when we come back to rehearsal. My wife's also in the band, by the way. They can tell what I've been listening to because I'll implement it in the show during that time. It's like a big pot of gumbo, and all of the ingredients are in there. So ain't no telling what comes out of that spoon when you put it in your mouth. That's the type of, way that I view, inserting the different styles of music, man. It's a lot of it out there. So at what point do I feel like I progressed? I think the moment that I decided to quit focusing on dope was the moment in time that my, just everything about me just elevated, bro. It just elevated. When I took getting high off of the top of my agenda and put this thing on it, man, it just. So I hope I answered your question. Yeah? All right? Yes.
Can you tell us about the newest and oldest pedal on your board?
All right. The oldest pedal that he asked, could I tell you about the newest and oldest pedal? The oldest pedal that I have on my board is a fuzz, and it's called the Colossus Fuzz. Me and Mark Material was talking about this. It's called the Colossus Fuzz, and it's made by a company called Mojo Hand Pedals. I have 3 different types of gain distortions, or whatever, if you will. I have a fuzz, I have a distortion pedal, and I have a tube screamer, which I often swap out with my own signature pedal. I have a pedal called the Raw Dog that is basically a souped up tube screamer. That's my nickname, by the way. I got a big tattoo right here that says Raw Dog. So I got with Jimmy Dunlap, and because of my pets, and I had a pit bull at the time, and he was like, man, let's call the pedal the Raw Dog. And because it has just a little more bite. You get it? There you go. So that's that, and so the newest pedal that I have is this sort of backwards, reverse delay sort of thing. That's the newest pedal, but everything that I have on here is I've had for quite some time, and I got so many of them I swap out from time to time. It just depends on what mood I'm in, when it's time to go out on the road, or what I feel like adding or taking away, or that's it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I really want to hear your Stevie Ray Vaughan story.
My Stevie Ray Vaughan story. So I was recording my first demos for my first record in Memphis, Tennessee. I was 15. I got my first record deal when I got a $250,000 record deal at 15 years old. I was in 10th grade, and that's even a deeper story. But anyway, we were at Ardent Studios, which is a studio that if you're in the know or any kind of musician, you know about Ardent Studios. A lot of people's recorded there, just all over. It's a very famous place. Anyway, we were there recording demos for the new record, and Stevie Ray and Jimmy Vaughan were recording Family Style, the Vaughan Brothers record. So I didn't know that they were there, but we was in Studio C and they were in Studio A, and all of a sudden, through the walls, because if you know about Stevie Ray, he played through like 7 or 8 amps all at the same time. So this was massively loud, like massively loud. And all of the amps were 100 watts or plus. So, and he was so loud that they had to use like chicken wire to put around the amps, because there was a tremendous buzz, and chicken cage wire was the only thing that made the buzz go away. So I heard it coming through the wall. I'm like, man, I know that fucking tone, man. Like, yo, no way. I told you, I was studying everything about Eric Johnson, Stevie Ray, Robin Trower, Frank Marino. I was trying to be exactly like them. So I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me, man. Is that Stevie Ray Vaughan around the corner, man? And wait, no, you kidding me? So I made my way around there, and I poked my head in the door, and there he was, sitting there. And this was after he had done got cleaned and everything. And I said, man, I don't mean to bombard, but my name is Eric Gales. Can I shake your hand? He said, you know what, man? I was 15 and my record hadn't come out yet. I was doing demos. He said, I know exactly who you are. He said, the industry has been buzzing about you, and I've been waiting to meet you. Fuck me up, like Rich fucked me up bad. The story gets a whole lot better. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I can breathe now. I mean, we just sitting there chilling, and so there's these 2 big fat gold coin rings that he used to wear. If you know about, I mean, I like my jewelry too. He let me wear those for a moment. He let me play the infamous beat up, burnt up Strat. Oh my God, I get emotional about it now. We sat there and played on that, and then even better, there was a couple of acoustic guitars. And we just sat there for about 30 minutes, just me and him, and we played Riviera Paradise for man, I mean, this is like one of the hugest idols of my life at 15 years old, and we're playing Riviera Paradise, and I'm like, man, here's the chords. And he said, you're right, that is the chord. And I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. So moving on to where, okay, it was time to let them get back to recording, and I get the recording. I said, man, I just got one more question. Is it possible that I can have your autograph? He said, only if I can have yours first. And man, it's just blew my mind. Completely blew my mind. And that's my Stevie Ray story. So I never will forget that. Sadly to say, the little piece of paper that he gave me his autograph on, in the course of through later in life, I was in a house fire and some things went, got almost died there too. But the memory of that autograph, I'll never forget, man. And that guy was profoundly impactful in my life, and I'm very, very close to his brother, Jimi Vaughn, and we embrace each other and just talk and smile and we reminisce about that time when I first met them. And I was 15. He brings it up to me. He's like, yeah, man, you remember Memphis and the Vaughn brothers? I was like, yeah, I absolutely do. I never will forget it. But that's the Stevie Ray story. Yeah. Anybody? Yes. You? Yeah. Was it you? Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yeah. Say that one more time. That's a good question. Do I feel like I need to reel that in? My wife tells me I need to reel that in. That's a very good question. I try to, I'm aware, and I can feel it when I think that I have, the magnet is drawing somebody near, close to feeling, the point of my story that's connecting to them. And I might not know the reason for it at the time, but I'll draw even more closer to it when I recognize it in the room and continue it, because I never know for what purpose that somebody may need to hear what it is that I'm talking about. It's something that they may have went through or currently going through or whatever, and I do that, and I tend to, besides the times when I'm quiet, which is not often, but besides the times when I'm quiet, I have a very outgoing spirit about myself, and I have always tried to have a persona and a personality and an attitude about myself that always, to where I can see in front of the hood of my car and not only out of the sunroof of my car. If you understand what that means, not fucking snobby and big-headed and braggadocious. I hate even talking about myself. I hate even bringing up what I do to anybody. That's just how I'm just a regular old person, and I've been told several times, bro, if you wanted to be a shit talker like Cassius Clay, you can do it and you can fucking back it up. But I just don't feel comfortable being that way. So me as a human being, that's who and what I am, and only those times in where the seriousness of my story relating to somebody else is where I'll, kind of open up more about my story. But other than that, I'll kind of draw back in the turtle shell or whatever, unless it's something just random that we're talking about, and I'm just outgoing about that period. I'm just that kind of person. So sometimes my wife will tap me and be like, "Hey, come on, man, calm down a little bit." But anyway, yeah, sure, yeah. If y'all don't mind, I hope nobody's shy, but whoever that has a question, I'm going to actually comment so everybody can hear the question. That's okay.
Right next to you. Yeah. See from
I
the
saw you
airport.
earlier.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much. Incredible to hear what you had to say. Playing was awesome.
Thank you.
Two-part question. First part, you can go Dream Team first. 4 or 5 piece band. Who's in your band?
Oh, wow.
And then second part of the question is, what are you looking for when you're putting together a band? I know you probably work with a lot of the same people as much as you can, but people cycle in and out. So.
Wow. Everybody hear that question? Dream Team band. Wow. Damn. What was the first part? Oh, what am I looking for? Man, I'm inclined to say fucking Mark Lettieri is one of them for sure. For sure. Rosie. Rosie, I would say Roosevelt Collier on lap steel over there for sure. Yeah, definitely. Man, wow, man, it's way too many, man. This is a dream team, man. I mean, is it dead or alive or what?
Anybody.
Wow, that's a hard one, bro. That's a hard one, man. I would say my good friend Corey Henry on keys. You know, of course, Sean Martin. Come on now. I mean, come on now. You know, Michael League. I mean, come on. That's a loaded question, man. The whole Snarky Puppy Band. I mean, that's who I do. I mean, and who I'm looking for, bro, and what I'm looking for is, man, that energy, man, that raw energy, man, that you know, just keeping and just keeping the eye. I mean, those of us that are musicians know that I believe that the church is the most intense place to gain your stripes on anything that you need to learn, because if you ain't paying attention, you will be highly embarrassed. If you're not on top of your game, you will be told to move, let somebody else get up there, you will be told to leave. And it's some of the most intense, time signature, dynamic, percussive, you know, pianissimos for Sunday, sort of, you know, just everything that you can. And I was raised in the church and all of that sort of stuff. So keeping the eye of, you got, you know, audibles being called every few moments. My wife can tell you, like, you know, yeah, they're in the band, but their job fucking sucks, cause I am one that gives audibles on every song that we do, so it keeps them on their toes. That's why I said their job fucking sucks, cause, you know, they just don't know what I'm about to do, so they have to be watching. So the thing that I'm saying all that to say that what I'm looking for is everybody's got an eagle eye on me, because I'm such a spur of the moment person, and I'm trying to do my best to keep up with what it is that's in my head that's coming to me, that's not as fast as it's hitting in my head, but I try to catch up with it as much as I can to relate that to the other band that's there. So just, man, that raw connection. And oftentimes there's like raw, that's just pure mental telepathy that happens too, that where I ain't gotta say a word and they feel it, and those are those times that are, man, quintessential. And everybody in the band knows it, and everybody in the audience knows it too. Yeah. Like, yo, that was not planned. It happened actually a couple times last night. None of that was planned, and it just happened. It just happened. All right, who else? What we got? Come on, step right up.
So, man, fantastic playing.
Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of musicians here probably at times get stuck in a rut. And when they try to improvise, you know, they play something that's like, oh, of course I just played that. Do you ever feel that way? And when you do feel that way, you know, how do you kind of break out of it and return to channeling the greater, you know, creative spirit?
Very, very good question. Yes, I do have that happen to me. And you really want to know what I do? I may go do something completely different for an hour or something. And if I'm frustrated, then like that's not a good place. You know what I mean? I walk away and come back to it. And that generally seems to work. I mean, if I need to put a little effort into it to, you know, perfect it a little more, depending on what it is that I'm learning or trying to ascertain at the time, then I will. But for the most part, at 50 years old, I walk away from it, man. Just, you know, breathe for a minute and come back to it. Yeah, it ain't going nowhere. It'll be right there. Pretty cool, man. I like it.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You just said learning.
Yes.
So most of us around here look at you and go, there couldn't possibly be anything more that you learn. Who are you learning from?
Mic up. Oh yeah, we got it. So her question was basically, her statement was, I think that she said that I think I can speak for a lot of us in the audience that it don't seem like there could be nothing else that I could learn. But yes, it is. I mean, I'm always, the moment that I feel like I can't learn anything, I think that's the beginning of my demise. So, what am I learning and what am I listening to? It could be just random stuff, man. This stuff that come on the radio, a commercial that might, prompt a melody or something in my head, and I'll go to the guitar. And what I'm doing now is I'll try to challenge myself. There are stuff that I will try that I'll hear, and I'll go to the guitar and try to emulate all the parts at one time, which is kind of like what a friend of mine, and I'm sure Mark and Joe may know who I'm talking about, but this guy named Charlie Hunter, by the way.
Yeah.
Charlie Hunter is an amazing cat that plays everything all by himself, bass line, accompaniment, lead, and sing and talk all while he's doing all this at the same time. So it's things like that I'll do to try to challenge myself. Like it's a certain way that I play the national anthem that I might play in a minute. That it encompasses, like I grew up in the marching band and the symphonic band, and I was in all of that too. So I'll try to play like counterparts and multiple parts and ascending and descending parts and stuff like that, all at the same time. So it just could be random, and I'm just not really naturally thinking about it. It could just pop up and like, babe, you heard that commercial? And the next thing she heard me on acoustic, trying to remember, what it is. Good thing we got DVR, because I can rewind it and figure it out. But just stuff like that, man, and countless number of gospel things that's out there. It's some very intense, top-notch, intriguing gospel stuff that's out there. You got James Hall with some crazy. I told my wife, if I ever get an email from James Hall telling me to get on a session, tell him I'm not available. Because this guy's stuff is so out there, and so she's like, babe, you can do it. I'm like, man, I'm afraid of that dude right there. But yeah, just it could be anything. But everything is inspiration to me. Everything. Yeah, who is next? Yeah, this guy. Yeah, sure.
Thanks so much for being here. It's really an inspiration to hear you play and just talk about music. And I started playing guitar when I was about 12, and I had this amazing teacher. He had the energy that you're talking about, and he passed away suddenly when I was in high school. And it's been hard to pick it back up again. And I'm just wondering, do you have any advice for someone who's been away from it for so long, and just how to get that spirit back?
Well, sorry for your loss, and that also is something that I'm not foreign to. Quite a few people that's connected to me have passed on, and every time I play, I believe that they're right here with me, and I'm channeling them. Hence the tears that come down when I play. But I think the best thing to do is just pick it up, man. Pick it up, man, and before you know it, you'll be back in that body of water, man, and it's got you floating, and that's when it's worked for me. I use that to. I'm a very emotional driven person, especially when I'm playing. There's been times that I've had a conversation with somebody, but I physically hadn't said a word, and they understood everything that I said just by what I was playing. The emotion that I was in and stuff like that. So I think that just sitting down and picking it up, man, and just let your fingers move, and it'll come on back to you. Find something or somebody that you're inspired by. That'll help start the engine. Find somebody that Avia Musicom or Lenny or Mark Materi record or a Moonchild record or Corey Henry or a Roosevelt record or John Mayer or Gary Clark or Derek Trucks or whatever. Anything that inspires you, just like, wow, man, that kind of gets the motor going. And then then you follow through from there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Who else we got? Yes, ma'am. It's okay. It's a what? Lucid. I don't know what lucite is. Like see-through. Yeah, well, it's plexiglass. Yeah. Well, damn. This is called the truth and 6 strings, and I gotta be honest with you, I've been trying to keep this away from everybody. And I've been asked this question, man, what'd you, and I say, oh man, it's this custom guitar company. I am not finna sit here and lie to y'all, man. There's a company called Timu, and that's where I got the guitar.
I love that he's playing. Because it's Italian rock too.
There it is, the fucking truth. And the crazy part is I got about 5 or 6 of them, man, and you can't beat it. That guitar didn't cost me but $250. And I'm like, man, they got the Steve Vai model and it lights up and everything. It's sitting at home waiting on me right now. And the thing for me is it plays great. It's not what it is, it's what you fucking do with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've been embarrassed a little bit to tell people that that's a Timu guitar, but it is what it is. It looks gorgeous, man. It is absolutely amazing. And it sounds great. It's fucking heavy as shit too, by the way, but it's amazing. Yes, sir.
Is there a particular gig or like an experience that you had like got a breakthrough of, and like how did it open up like as far as networking with other musicians and like a group like starting a company? How were you able to like network with that band, so to speak? Like how did you get connected with them?
Man, it's quite a few that has happened with, well, when I got the record deal, that opened the door for me. Like, I didn't have to, very thankful to God, I didn't have to go from the ground up like a lot of other startup artists had to do. I got the record deal at 15 and I was on Arsenio Hall show within a couple of months. You know, I was out touring I was the first band that I went out on tour with this band called King's X, and I don't know if everybody knows who that is, but oh my God, they're amazing. Do your research. And Ty Tabor, Doug Pinnick, and Jerry Gaskell are amazing. I was out with them, and that kind of opened up, you know, areas for me that, you know, got me to, before I know it, I'm playing a gig in Chicago, and they start parting the tables and everything, and before I know it, Stevie Wonder was sitting in front of me. And that just randomly happened, and we wound up playing together. He came up on stage and started out on drums, and then we ended the night playing Superstition, and it was just mind-blowing. I never will forget that. So it just, I might not be the right example for starting from the core roots, because, I mean, I was kind of privileged in already having, like, when the record deal came, Elektra was who I chose, but it was 11 different record labels that was bidding for me at 15 years old. And so it was kind of out there, and, you know, stuff came to me. So I didn't have to really go and seek out for it. It just was kind of coming to me. And just through gigging and just in the industry till today, I really don't know. I'm still amazed that people that I don't think know who I am know who I am. I mean, just as random as yesterday, I had no idea that John Schofield knew who I was, and he was fucking freaking out. He's like, "Yo, man," and so was I. And I was like, man, it was just so exhilarating. And I just, you know, like artists like P.J. Morton and all these other cats that I have no idea that know who Eric Gales is. And I'm like, wow. And my wife's like, babe, I've been trying to tell you for 13 years. Like, you are that motherfucker, and folks know who the fuck you are. And I mean, this is her words now, not me. I told you I'm humble, so I'm humble. But yeah, that's how it just through playing and maybe certain festivals that we connect in, and me and Mark were guitar players. So like NAMM brings a lot of people together, and then that kind of causes certain things. And Mono Neon, which is we both from Memphis, Tennessee, and that circle, and just all kinds of stuff. So that's how it happened for me. Yeah, yes.
Thank you for being incredibly gracious to talk before you played, just some personal stuff. But this is a lighthearted question, but it's a serious topic. Musicians, we're all a little mad. There's a craziness to being a musician. You've been in a position of the biggest stages, million people audiences, and then probably smaller audiences. Of course, all the gamut. A lot of us as musicians play in front of audiences. There's a thing called the come down. You're praised for everything you do on that stage, and then you go back to the hotel room and you're alone and the adrenaline settles. Any practical tips on how to deal with that? Because there's the crash, and it's emotionally, for some of us, more of the madness than the creation process.
Very, very, very good point. They do need to talk about that. I'm very, very fortunate because I have my wife that's in the band, and all I can tell you is find you a LaDonna like I found mine. Because we have to do that for each other. We were back in the hotel room and we were like, babe, the energy was crazy, you know, and we kind of pillow talk a little bit until we both just mentally finally come down, and you know, but as for being alone and by yourself, and you know, I wouldn't know, because for the past almost 13 years I've had a partner there with me that has, you know, been a cushion for me, you know, but sometimes, you know, I go back and the show's been 2 hours, it's been way over with, but I'm still got tears. Just like that. And just like that. It's that powerful, man. It's that powerful. And if the people out there could feel a morsel of what we feeling in this half circle right now, I think that would make the world a much better place. So I thank you for your question, because you fucking opened up. Fuck, dude. Damn, I was doing all right till you asked that damn question.
Should've left it with the guitar.
Damn. Well, anyway, I hope I answered your question. Yes. All right. Who else we got? Somebody keep me close to the wire on my time here. Whoever's back there. Yes. Where we at? Where we at? Yes.
What are your favorite places to listen to gospel? I've been trying to find a place and I just...
Gospel? Man, look, that could be, man, I don't know if this is the best advice, but go to any hood. Find you a hood. You know, that's short for neighborhood. Find you a hood where, you know, like where you can hear it from outside. They are definitely in New York. Glenn Gibson is one that's out there in New York. He's a seriously amazing, you know, anywhere that they don't mind shouting and getting in the spirit, that is the type of church that you will find yourself just bawling tears and won't know why, and it's because the spirit is heavily in the room. Yeah. Yes.
A huge question that many musicians have. I was just curious how you got to that point where you were getting those record deals, where you were learning the ropes, and then you just got there to that record deal.
How did I get there? Dude, I didn't even, this was not a life that I sought out. I wanted to be a truck driver like my dad. And at like maybe 11 was the first gig that I ever played, and it was at a thing called the Ambrose Jam. It was a music store, and there was the producers and all that kind of stuff that were there. And then we did a battle of the bands, and we won first place both days. And there were producers there, and they came to us and said, "Man, win, lose or draw, I want to signed you guys to a production deal, and that's what started it all. I was 14 years old, and there was a world that we'd never seen before. And they asked my brother, who was also, so my first record came out in 1992. I was 16 when it came out. And the producer prior to that asked my brother, "You got any original songs you ever wrote before?" My brother lied his ass off. And he said, "Yeah, I got original songs." We were lying like a motherfucker. So he said, "Come see me Monday and let me hear them." We had to write 4 songs. In 48 hours, and that was got us our record deal right there. So that's kind of how it happened. That's how it happened. And then that's the rest of history. Yeah, yeah. I see you back there, so yeah. Thank y'all. Hope you had a good time.